little all over the place. I'm trying to be a little bit more focused. So, when I am traveling and what I'm trying to do incorporate into my daily life now is make sure that it's a lot more simpler. So, for instance, right, if you are going out the door, make sure your shoes are lined up because that's way you don't have to worry about where your shoes are. I just did laundry. So this is the dirty laundry bag. So I bring the dirty laundry bag to do the laundry, throw this in the washer dryer, fold the clean laundry, put it into here, and then I bring it back and then I put the dirty laundry in here. So this bag is clean. It just came out of the dryer, but it's going to be dirty again when I do the laundry. Here is my luggage bag. You can see. Ooh, look, I got something leaked in there. I'm gonna have to wash that later. No biggie. And then here's my folded bag. You can see I try to keep it nice and neat. Here's some of these leakable stuff over here. I don't take myself too seriously if something leaks, like no big deal. There's my handbag. There's my miscellaneous stuff over here. And then here is my stuff that could have been better organized, but was not bad. See, apples over here, utensils over here, some crumpled napkin over here, sweets. You can see I have popcorn over here, which would be really handy if I had this. And then here is more stuff over here. So if you're traveling and you're going by, let's say, car especially, I really recommend stocking some of these drinks. I actually got this from the last Holiday Inn we were in. This was from a 7-Eleven. But I do recommend bringing portable drinks with you because let's say it's late at night or you're working on it and you don't have a protein shake, just, carry some with you. It's so much easier. You don't have to clean the freaking blender ball at all. There's our yogurt, there's some fudge, and there is, unsurprisingly, a cookie. So I do like to have some things to nibble on. And you can see how I have things right now. See? So I always make sure I have like only easy amount of stuff. So like let's say this is like crooked. If I want to straighten it, you just straighten it like that. There's my one hair clip, there's my water, here's my sunglasses, and that's it. So if you have a bunch of tasks that you need to do, or if you feel overwhelmed, my suggestion would be make sure you simplify. Not only simplify, but don't be ashamed of taking little breaks. So I went upstairs, I went breakfast, went upstairs, ate, and then afterwards I did laundry. Timed it for about 45 minutes, cleaned up a little, went downstairs, put it in the dryer, went back upstairs. Not a big deal. Timed it, and then I folded the laundry, came upstairs, put the clean laundry into here, and I'm probably gonna rest for about 5 minutes. And when I mean rest, I'm just like laying down in bed, underneath the covers, like this for about 5 minutes, just taking it easy. I find that sometimes people get overwhelmed with things and they don't take little breaks. So I'm a big fan of just chunking away at a little iceberg slowly but surely and not overwhelming myself. And I'm a really big fan of minimalism right now, as you guys can say. I know some people would say, Erica, you're not minimalistic because you only have to, you should only have like 2 pairs of shirts or something like that. But I find that when you carry less stuff with you, or if you're open to like rewashing, washing your clothes and just being mindful about what you're picking up, it becomes so much easier with possessions and organizing. Like seriously. And I've shared it with you guys, like for the rest of my life, I think I'm going to be a minimalist. I'm just going to be constantly decluttering, giving things away. I could sell things, but I find more joy in that. And my hope is that as I get older, I'll have less and less stuff. And then when I clean up, it'll just be super simple. Be like, okay, what do I pack for, let's say, a trip? Oh, it's even more simple. So I hope that these kind of little tips help you guys. And I hope that maybe some of the stuff that I'm sharing with you, you guys incorporate in your own life because it's really helped me. Again, don't be afraid to take little breaks, take 5-minute breaks, because you don't want to run yourself ragged. And I know some people will laugh at this and be like, Erica, run yourself ragged. No, like I feel like if you're doing like little things like this, They're like that. So I always like putting. I only wear like two pieces of things, right? I kind of this. This is my one hair clip that I use for my hair. I've used this. Look at this. This is like missing some of the tongs, but it doesn't matter to me because this just is usual. This is just to put my hair up for the shower. And yeah, so that's the same hair clip that I brought that I was using in Hawaii, and then I brought it over to New York, and now it's in New York. But you can see, like, it's just one hair clip, and I'll probably use it for maybe the next couple years as long as I don't break one of those tongs. And then there's my one pair of sunglasses that you always see me wear. And then I have like two water bottles, and it's just so simple, you guys. I love it so much. It's just like, what hair clip am I gonna use to bring to the shower? One. And yeah, you can see like my spending is kind of my spending is mostly food, I would say for sure. But other than that, like other stuff, not really. I'm very, very low on spending, and I'm really happy about that. So yeah. So I think minimalism is really, I think it's good for the mind. I think it's good for the pocketbook. I think it's not so good for the economy. I'm gonna be honest here because if you're not buying much, if you're not being much of a consumer, then of course businesses aren't going to be able to stay in business too much. But I hate to say it this way, it's not, to me it's like there's so few people who try to live minimalistically that it's not a big deal. It's like I can talk about things, but I can't really change a person's mindset. But yeah, I'm happy that I'm not going to be one of those people that I go over to Dollar Tree or Family Dollar, or those kind of stores, and I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna buy like $50 worth of stuff. Most likely I'm not, because I go in there and I buy like freaking cleaning spray, serum, maybe one bar of soap. It's like, pork rinds. It's very minimal, and it makes everything so much easier. So when we go back to New York, for instance, the stuff that I'm bringing with me, the stuff that I'm bringing back from this trip is basically all consumables. I did bring back these two little rocks that I found, and I just kind of thought they were kind of nice. I think they're granite or quartz. I'll show it to you guys really quick. Let me show you guys this. So I found these rocks. Let me see. You can see my jam over there. I found these rocks. I think they're at some kind of beach. They look like some kind of quartz, don't they? They're at the beach, and I thought they were so beautiful. See that? So I thought, oh, I gotta take them with me. So I picked up these two. And then that's my little souvenir from, I think, New Hampshire, actually. See that? So it's small. I put it into my bag. It's freaking scratched up, like some of my stuff in there. And I was like, no big deal. I can't bring it with me anyway when I die. So all that kind of thinking, just living a minimal life, trying to like keep everything a little bit organized and not like overwhelm myself. Like, oh, gotta spend all this time organizing and organizing and organizing. And yeah, I know I'm kind of like just going on and on and on, but seriously, as long as you kind of work on something persistently and conscientiously, you really it's like you're gonna get to a point where you can't really organize much, because it's like it's like, how the hell can you organize more two pairs of shoes right now? You can't. And I think that's very mentally calming. It's kind of like zen like, in my opinion. And yeah, that's all. So let's say, yeah, food is happiness. Yeah, no souvenirs. No, the souvenirs was like the quartz thing. I did buy some snacks, so don't think it's, you didn't buy anything. I bought some snacks for people. I got some soap, like locally made soap. That's the souvenirs. Again, these are all consumables. You use soap, you use snacks. You can give away things, like if you don't consume maple syrup, you can give away the maple syrup to someone else. And that, I think, is really nice. If you have that kind of thinking where you say, okay, well, I'll give someone a gift, and if they don't want that gift, then they can give it to someone else, and maybe that person will appreciate the gift. And if they don't want the gift, then they can hand it all over to someone else. And it's really easy. Like, for instance, right? Let's say I gave someone maple syrup, and they're like, oh, thanks, Erica. And then afterwards, they just store it. And then they have, let's say, they have a housewarming party to go to, and they're thinking, crap, I gotta buy a gift for them. And they say, oh, wait, you know what? I'll just give them the maple syrup that Erica gave me because I don't really eat maple syrup anyway. So, right away, that is an instant gift. I really think that if you buy something that's local, you're not only supporting local businesses, but you're also giving gifts that I think are going to be a lot more well received than a souvenir spoon or a magnet. So, a lot of freaking crap going on. So yeah, I went to those little country stores, those little souvenir shops. They sell things like cider donuts. I mean, I would love to swing by and get a cider donut, chocolate chip cookie. Sure, I'd love to get that. Let's see, what else was there that I saw? They had popcorn. They had candles. I'm not a candle person, so I didn't buy any candles. But something like caramel popcorn, that's something that's pretty cheap, and I think it's like $5 for a bag. So you think like, okay, I'll pick one up, give it as a gift, and it's just great. I don't have to worry about caramel popcorn melting in the sun, really. You don't have to worry about maple syrup going bad because let's say you're traveling for 2 weeks, right? And I'm just trying to act a little bit more mindful in terms of the things that I have around me, my actions in life, and just I think being more organized is truly the way. See, this is one of those like luggage things. I know some of you guys, for many years I was thinking like, what is the point of this thing? And then I realized it's so much easier if you spend that extra minute taking it out, right? It's more like 30 seconds. You put your luggage on top, it's closer, it's elevated in height versus if it's on the ground. See, like mine's is on the ground, so I have to bend over, but I don't really mind because we only have one, so I'll put it for Lewis's stuff because it's extra. Huh?
Somebody clip that.
What do you mean clip that?
You said I'd have to bend over, but I don't really mind.
Oh,
Can somebody clip that? I need that as my donation
no,
sound.
stop that. Just.
I have to bend over, but I don't really mind.
Oh,
and then we have to have
gosh.
like a picture of Erica's face appearing right next to the OnlyFans logo.
No.
Oh, that would be.
No, so crude. So crude. So, yeah. And that's all I wanted to tell you guys. I'm gonna keep my stream a little shorter, as you guys could see. It's a work in progress. Like I said, I'm not perfect at that stuff. I should actually do an edited video, but I don't really want to do an edited video for this because I feel like I'd spend like 20 minutes cutting splicing footage and be like, hey, here is a luggage rack, and I suggest that you use it so that way you can elevate your luggage and it'll be easier for you. And then I have to retake it because I think, oh, I don't sound professional enough. And yeah, what can I say? But honestly, you guys, the big thing is that when it comes down to decluttering, being minimalistic, taking care of your items, washing, doing laundry, taking care of yourself, skincare things, making sure you brush your teeth, floss your teeth. All of this shows that you respect yourself. And that is something that I think is priceless, because a lot of people, I think we just go through the actions of life. It's just like, oh, we'll just buy stuff, or we just accumulate things, and we don't really think about it. And then we look back at it and we think about what kind of life we live, and we realize we have so much freaking crap that we don't even really like having around too much. And I think it just kind of weighs us down, because at the end of it, I know this sounds morbid, right? But as I've shared with you guys, one of the things that really made a big difference in my life is when I found out my uncle passed away from cancer. He died, he passed away way too young, completely unexpected. And everything he had, I mean, I don't know how many possessions he had back in the state that he was residing in for over 30 years, but his friends had to go through his possessions, and some of his possessions are still at his state. And I just kind of got to thinking, like, man, if anything happened to me, I don't want to just burden my loved ones with all my stuff. I rather curate things around me so that way it's like, okay, this is the stuff that Erica has. It's not too much. Oh, she something unfortunate happened to her. Okay, yeah, we're not going to be overwhelmed clearing out things at all. I don't want people to think like, oh crap, she has so much stuff. Oh my gosh. So if I go through the rest of my life just trying to be more minimalistic, 100%, I'm going to get there. And I would really like to just kind of, that's one of the reasons why I kind of show my thoughts, because I know sometimes people would say, oh, well, it must be really hard to do this kind of stuff. It's just baby steps. It's just baby steps and thinking like, what do I need? What don't I need? What can I give away? And you guys know, right? I've never been one of those people who's like, I got to give away 50 items a day, every day, for the next month. No, I just kind of say like, okay, 2 items here, 3 items here. When I get back, I'm gonna have to meet up with someone and give away 2 items, and then I'll post more items. And it's just like slowly but surely, things are going out, and I like it that way. It's a lot more sustainable. Dunkin's. I don't know. I have no idea how much Dunkin's is. How do I deal with his passing? I think about the way he lived. I think about the kind of person he is. And sometimes people, they get so consumed by all the stuff in their life, you guys, you know, and it just makes me kind of sad because, like, for instance, he had a Mercedes, and it was a really nice Mercedes. But do you think anybody in the family really gives a shit about his Mercedes? No, we don't, because it's like, yeah, now people have to think like, oh crap, what are they gonna do about his car? What's gonna happen to it? Are they gonna sell it? Are they gonna get shipped up back over here? We don't know. But yeah, it's just like his items that he had, his possessions, like they become things that the family has to deal with. The family have to take in. And his Mercedes was a gorgeous car, and it was actually a pretty damn expensive Mercedes too, from what I was reading. It's like over 100,000. But um it's just like those kind of things. You see what a person has, and then when they pass away, you have to think about what are you going to do about their possessions. And at the end of the day, right, you hear about a car and you're like, oh, that's really cool and stuff. But my uncle was so much more than a car. He was a lot more than the stuff that, a Mercedes Benz. And I think sometimes people lead with these luxury items and they let that define their character. They let that define like how successful or whatnot they are in their life. They signal to others like, look at me, I made it because I had this, I had that. But outside of his car, my uncle was such, like he liked the car, right? But outside of that, he was genuinely a very, 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 very good human being. I know this sounds like I'm full of crap, but I don't think too many people will ever be on my uncle's level, because he was incredibly selfless. He was incredibly selfless, incredibly kind. He was smart, of course, well educated, and he was that kind of person that could inspire people to be better. And it's not because he was preaching. He didn't have a YouTube or anything, but you saw the way he lived, and you saw how much he cared for people around him. And he didn't tell people like he loved them, he would show it through his actions. And that's one of the things that just makes it just so sad for my family, because it's like you feel that, you kind of feel like, man, a lot of the things that he did, it was just like you didn't really notice like how incredible it was until after he passed. It's not like he wasn't appreciated, but imagine, it's like you always have this good person in your life, and then when they're gone, it's like, oh crap, yeah. It's just you can really feel like a huge loss. And yeah, so because of what happened to him, I just kind of thought to myself like, man, I gotta be more mindful about certain things. I gotta go and face certain anxieties a lot more head on because I don't know. I know this sounds terrible, but I don't want to assume, certain things about myself. I don't want to assume that I'm going to, something's not going to happen to me tomorrow. I hope not. I really hope not. I really love life, and I really, as much as like it seems like I'm always eating cookies, I'm really not. But I have so much people in my life that I love and care about, and if anything happens to me, I don't want them to be burdened by my possessions. That's what it comes down to. And I don't want to be held down by my possessions either. So, kind of like a Swedish death cleanse kind of thing, but even more. Yeah, yeah. I had to do that with my dad and my grandmother twice. Oh my, I'm so sorry. It's such a burden that I'm determined to do it to my friends' good for. Yeah. That kind of stuff, like, I feel guilty about it because, like, part of me wonders how would it have been if I offered. And this isn't something that I was thinking about because when he was getting his treatments, it's like you don't want to be all like, oh, okay, let me help you unload your possessions in your home state. Like that's kind of morbid, right? That sounds so vulturish. So it's like I just thought like, man, he's gonna recover, he'll be okay. And then I found out things like they wanted to sell the property, and I was thinking about checking it out, and I thought, man, I don't want to look like a freaking vulture at all. But I was kind of curious because I knew he had lived there in such a long time. It never happened. I never checked it out or anything like that. But yeah. And I also have zero desire to live in that state as well. But yeah, it just kind of made me think like, man, I just kind of wonder what happened to a lot of his possessions because family didn't go through it because we aren't, most of my family is in Hawaii. And yeah, so imagine if you have all your possessions and then something happens to you and your friends go into your home and they have to figure out what's meaningful and what's not meaningful, and it's just I think it might have been very sad. It's very sad to have like someone go through your home and then they have to determine what is good enough to send back over to relatives and what isn't. And yeah, so that, I mean, that was just something that it just like was in the back of my head, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's kind of like it must have been very traumatizing, very sad for my uncle. And even though I'm sad about him passing, I know he has really good people on the other side, and I hold on to that. And it just saddens me because it's like some of the best people I know who in my life, they passed away. And I'm not saying that just to kiss ass or anything like that, but truly, they were really good people, really loving people. And yeah. So if he had kids, how's it on them right now? He never had kids. He never got married. He never had kids. It was really shocking. I don't want to say shocking, but because he was such a good person. He was a good-looking person. He was like 6 feet tall. He was in shape, well educated, handsome, and for whatever reason he just kind of had that always bachelor life, and it wasn't because he was a jackass or anything like that. I think he was just kind of like a lone wolf. But yeah, I saw pictures of him and I just kind of thought like, man, he definitely should have had a lot of women like kind of throwing themselves at him, sort of thing, right? Combination of looks, character, and what else is there? Looks, character, and job. But I don't know. That was his private life. He was incredibly private, and yeah. But I know that number one, he loved family so much, you guys. So yeah, but yeah, family definitely still feels it. There is something that there was some kind of like electronic thing that needs to be handled, and I'll just leave it at that. But I hope we're able to recover certain things. Because, yeah, what can I say? So, I got the gym. Oh yeah, Avery, I hope you recover well, because I know sometimes people get the pokey poke and they have complications. I personally I got my second dose of, the Momo, and I feel okay. I feel okay. I don't know if it's just because of my freaking traveling eating or whatnot, but I just feel more fatigued. But also, I have my time of the month, so that could be possibly adding to it too. So yeah. Um. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna keep my streams shorter, a little bit more focused. But I hope. Oh. I hope that you guys learned something from this. Does a hotel? Yep, it's inside of the closets normally. So if you go into the closet, you'll see this little foldable thing. I think it's called a luggage stand. Maybe Google it. And yeah, so this stand is really helpful. It's nice. And yeah, always try to, show respect to yourself, take care of yourself, be nice to people, and in my opinion, also declutter your life, because you don't want to put that stress on your family in case anything happens to you. It's not good. And yeah. So I will see you guys. I'll talk to you guys later.